Prabhudas Deelathar joins us right now on the show. Ajay, hi, morning. How are you mapping the market mood right now ahead of policy today, while a status quo seems pretty much baked in?
I think there are 3 or 4 global issues that are currently weighing heavily on the Indian markets as they are weighing on the global markets. And I think the slower than expected expansion in the Chinese PMI in August at 50.2, when the expectation is around 50.5, is clearly an overhang on the markets. And the fears are that the weaker than expected industrial profits, output and credit growth might lead economists to tone down the GDP expectations for China for the current year. Also the pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong, as also the stronger than expected April to June GDP growth numbers in America is making the markets jittery that the US Fed will have to start raising rates sooner than what the market is currently building in, which is sometime in June 2015. And also the geopolitical tensions in Middle East, with reports I think in Times of India that the ISIS is just 2 kilometers from Baghdad. So I think all these 4 global factors are weighing in on the markets. And in case of the policy, specifically, we are expecting a complete status quo. We are expecting the repo rate to remain at 8%. No cut in SLR because the credit offtake numbers that came in yesterday are pretty tepid at just 10.2% growth on a YOY basis in August, vis-a-vis 12.6% growth in July 14. And even if you look at the constituents of that growth, what we clearly see is that the large industry has shown only a 7% YOY growth in credit offtake. The reason why SBI chairperson, when they cut deposit rates I think a few weeks back, clearly was alluding to the fact that credit growth is not keeping pace. And hence I think, they needed to just match the deposit credit dynamic. I think the growth essentially has been slightly better in case of agri and retail loans, but the industrial credit I think clearly remains a concern. And we don't expect any SLR cut. Why? Because the credit growth, as I said, is expected is quite tepid. So overall, I think the policy should be status quoist, and the RBI governor will be keeping a very hawkish watch on the glide path, because 6% by next January 16, is what the market is now clearly focused on. And how does the RBI achieve that is what the market will be looking at.
On that opening note, we'll take a very quick break. Ajay Bodke stays with us, as do our experts. We come back, talk more about the markets. So all our experts get in Mitesh's stock recommendations as well. Should there be a diesel price cut today or over the course of the next 2 or 3 sessions? How big a negative? Because I'm not just talking about the kind of monetary loss that comes in, but it clearly sends out the signal that these companies will not be able to profit when an opportunity presents itself.
I think this is the right time, with the crude being at 27-month low, for the government to announce complete decontrol of diesel prices. This is what institutional investors are expecting the government to chart a path, because this is the right time for them to go in for it. And also the investors are expecting a very marginal measured increase in LPG prices on the same lines as diesel. Maybe a 5 or 10 rupee per month rise, but a measured calibrated increase, because this is a signal that will go to institutional investors that the government's intent on fiscal consolidation is for real, and the target that it has set for a 3% fiscal deficit in FY17, it is on course to achieve that. As it is, I think we are expecting the fiscal deficit for the current year to come in a tad lower than 4% at around 3.9%. So I think the fact that diesel prices might be cut by 2 rupees, I don't think it will be taken negatively by the market, because this will also have its repercussions on the inflation numbers as we go ahead, and it will help the RBI governor in terms of more room to adopt a more accommodative stance as we go forward in next 3 to 6 months. So I think from the economist perspective, a reduction in diesel prices will not be taken too negatively.
I'm surprised you're saying that, Ajay. Aside of the fact that the impact is other inflation, what about an investment case for the oil marketing companies? The possibility of divestment, because this clearly says that a company, when it gets a chance to make a profit, will not be allowed to do so because the larger interest will be kept in mind.
That's why I said I put the caveat first. The government has to first announce a decontrol of diesel prices.
Okay.
And then sort of, because in the current juncture, the crude prices are so low, the government can say that, we are cutting diesel prices. But at the same time, if the prices were to shoot up due to geopolitical tensions or some other reasons, then I think the government reserves the right, or the oil companies rather, in that scenario reserve the right to increase prices. So it has to be a very nuanced approach the government has to adopt. First decontrol and then cut prices.
What is that you're sensing about the sectoral split, Ajay, within the market? And do you think in the near term, because of the kind of volatility that one has seen of late, IT and pharmaceuticals will continue to find, favor in the market?
I think till such time the risk aversion doesn't recede, I think it would pay to be a bit cautious on the market. And I would be advocating investors to take positions which is a judicious mix of some defensives as well as a few cyclicals, because let's not forget that we are expecting the economy to come back, the growth aggregate demand to come back in sectors like capital goods, construction, engineering sometime in the fourth quarter of current financial year. So one needs to have a portfolio which keeps a proper mix between defensives and cyclicals, and I would sort of advocate having good position in IT sector, and we are recommending Infosys and Wipro in large cap space in IT, and in the mid cap space I think we are recommending KPIT. We are expecting a price target of 4,040 in case of Infosys over a 12-month period, a price target of 680 in case of Infosys, and around 200 rupees in case of KPIT. In pharmaceuticals, I will be a tad cautious. We had seen a very sharp rise in pharmaceuticals over the last few months, and I think although currently we are seeing again a shift back into pharmaceuticals over the last few days post correction, I would tread cautiously in case of pharmaceuticals.
We're interviewing the management of Mahindra CIE later on in the show, Ajay. What about auto components? Most of them have to say that their order books are full till 2015 or 2016. ROC will go up for most companies. Auto sector is doing very well. Sales numbers tomorrow will likely show that as well. Any auto component ideas from the house?
Yeah, I think auto sector we are very positive on, and auto components also sort of, we are advocating investors to take positions as part of the core portfolio in Motherson Sumi and LG Balakrishnan. Both these companies, in case of Motherson Sumi, although the stock has done exceedingly well over last one and a half year, we believe that going forward, the company has the potential to grow its revenues at around 18% CAGR in 15-16 and a growth of around 18% in bottom line current year, followed by around 50.4% in next financial year. And the company's ROEs are trending up very strongly from 33% this year to 38% next financial year. LG Balakrishnan, again, a very strong player based in South. In case of auto components, a large suppliers to two-wheeler companies like Bajaj Auto, HMSI. We are expecting a 20% CAGR in revenues and a similar growth in bottom line in FY 15-16. And again, the ROA profile of the company is trending up. So these two companies we are advocating investors to look at as part of the core portfolio. And in the frontline autos, I think we expect the four-wheelers to do extremely well. Maruti Suzuki is one of our top picks in auto sector, and tactically we feel that I think from technical perspective, Tata Motors also on dips can offer a very good entry opportunity.
Okay, Ajay, stay with us. Lots more to chat about. For now, though, we're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, the pre-open rates this Tuesday morning also bring on board our big market voices today. Samir Arora, fund manager at Helios Capital, would be joining us in minutes from now.